Hi, how you going? This week is a bit of an exciting week. Well, it was an exciting weekend actually. Um, we went up to Sydney for the weekend for Dave's birthday. Now, it wasn't a big birthday; it was only a 49. But I want to do something special. Every year, I do something special for his birthday. Last year, we went hot air ballooning over at Canawindra, and wow is all I have to say about that. Canawindra, you get, a breakfast afterwards, a champagne breakfast afterwards, and you get to go there and help set up the balloon, and then you fly around for a bit, looking at the countryside, and then you land and fold it up, and then you go and have breakfast at this gorgeous, gorgeous cafe. It's just lovely, and we were really lucky in the fact that uh, I'm really sorry about that. It seems that our neighbours have a demolition derby going on next door, which is always great. So yeah, we were very lucky in the fact that the weather, we had optimum, fabulous conditions for that, and we were able to take off exactly. Well, we didn't get to take off exactly where we planned because there was actually a horse event on at the showground where they always do it. So we went to the caravan park. There was a reserve down below the caravan park where we stayed, and so we went there, which was great until the next morning when we weren't the people in the balloon and they started setting up at 5:30 in the morning. That bit wasn't so great, but it's okay. We got up early and had I cooked a breakfast, and we had a lovely breakfast and sat around before we had to go, and we left a bit early because we'd gotten up early. But the people running that are just the business. I couldn't recommend them highly enough. I know there's ones in Colburn and Canberra, but the Canawindra group are a really small family run business, and it's just lovely. It's just a lovely country atmosphere, and the town is so quirky and still has its original buildings from like 18 Bickety Doo, from when it was established as a gold mine, and they have those plaques that old places have at every street corner and showing you what the buildings were, and a lot of the buildings still have their original facades, which is great. And I checked, it is actually pronounced Canawindra and not Canoundra because it's an Aboriginal word. And since Aboriginal language isn't complicated enough to be making up stupid sounds of random things, they actually said it's Canawindra. So that's why I'm calling it that. But the town is really great. There is very cheap fuel there, and it was a really good time. So if you're looking for a hot air balloon experience, they tend to give really good rates and discounts and things. Um, so if there's a family group, which there was, because it's my dad's birthday is just a couple of days after Dave's, so we threw together and got the two of them on, and then I wanted to go as well, so I just paid for my own because why the hell not? I'm not driving all the way there and then watching somebody else have all the fun. Um, so yeah, so that was what we did last year, which was awesome, and I cannot do yourself a favor. I cannot say enough wonderful things about that experience. Um, so this year, put the pressure on myself. I think I peaked a bit early. This year, I thought, why not do the bridge climb? Why not? Something he said he was interested in doing quite a while ago, and so I was able to secure tickets that were actually affordable. It was late morning, so we were very lucky because of all the rain that and flooding that had been going on there. The rain eased up when we were driving up on Friday, so we had a very, very easy drive up there. We were staying at a place called Napoleon on Kent. um, that experience wasn't so great, the accommodation. It did have its highlights. So, the linen was all very white and clean and lovely. The bed was just an absolute delight to sleep in. Very comfortable beds. And the soundproofing of the rooms was wonderful because we were literally underneath the Western distributor. Like the view out our room window, sliding doors, was you looked out this way and you were onto some building, who the hell knows, and then you go up and there was a whole highway under over the top of our building, a whole highway. And aside from the occasional siren, which you're going to get in the city anyway, we heard no road noise. So that was brilliant. That was brilliant. Um, Things not so great with, some of the cleanliness in the room, bit dicey there. Cleaners, get your act together, seriously. But it had a really well stocked kitchen. The kitchen, because we went there so we could take breakfast and things, because I'm nearly not organized enough in the morning to wander around and manage breakfast before stuff. So the kitchen was well stocked with crockery and cutlery, and our needs were simple, but everything we needed was there. The fridge was a really good size. We could stick all the stuff in the fridge that we wanted to. So that was good, and the location of it was amazing. So, obviously we're going to the bridge, so I think we were like 3 blocks from the bridge climb place, and then in the other direction we were like 3 blocks from Little Tokyo, where we went for dinner on Saturday night, which was great because we found Japanese cheesecake. That is a revelation. You have to do that if you ever have the chance to eat Japanese cheesecake. You have to do that because it just takes cheesecake to a whole new level. It's everything that cheesecake isn't. It is light, it is fluffy, it has a tart tang at the end of it. It is just all things good. And then it came, and then we got a chocolate one as well. One wasn't enough, so why not have 2? And the chocolate one was the dark cocoa chocolate taste mixed in with this cheesecake. You just want to smush your face in it and rub it around a bit and then eat it off. Just you cannot imagine how good this was. So anyway, back to the story. So we went down on Saturday morning, got up leisurely, breakfast, sleep in, blah blah blah, and walked down. And it was a bit showery, but the sun was still shining, so it was one of those days where you get showers out of bright blue sky. But that's okay because they were just light showers. Walked down, had a look around the harbour underneath the bridge and the gardens, and then we went up, and the check-in process, very easy, very straightforward. If you have health things that need to be checked out, that is very straightforward as well. Then we rallied into a certain area and we got all the briefings. The briefing that you get with all your safety harnesses and equipment, and you also get this very attractive waterproof jumpsuit, which is just gorgeous, let me tell you. One size fits no one, but for the entire time that we were up there, and we got rained on while we were up there, I was never cold or wet. I was warm and dry the whole time because they also clip this little baggie to your bum because everything is clipped on. You've got all these little things everywhere, so everything that's going with you is clipped on and it's staying clipped on until you come back down. You also get a rain jacket, which I also wore, which made for some truly extraordinarily terrible photos. But I was not taking that sucker off because it was dang cold. Um, but because I had all my clothes on, and you get these little things so he can talk to you, so you hear everything. It was really, really good. And the only truly horrific bit that I found was going up the ladders because you are outside the harbour bridge, and there is no thing. You're just going up vertical 3 flights of ladders to get you onto the bridge. So you're walking along the bottom of it, and you go up the ladders, and then you're walking across the top and across the middle bit, and then back down, and then back down another ladder, and then back across the underneath bit. And while the ladder bit was truly, absolutely terrifying, I'm really, really glad that I did that. Well, Dave loved it. He had a smile on his face. I thought he was going to become like Kyle's brother in South Park, and his whole face was going to flip off with the smile so much. He had a wonderful time. And once I was on top of the bridge, absolutely great. It's good. You've got taller things to keep you in. I mean, you're hooked onto the thing anyway, so you can fall like a foot. If you do slip over, you are not going anywhere. You are perfectly as safe as you can be. You can get run over by a bus crossing the street. So you're doing that sort of activity. All precautions have been taken for you to be as safe as you can be, as long as you're not an idiot and you behave like a twat. But the views, even with the rain that was coming across, the views were amazing, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was terrifying but amazing at the same time. I put it up there with the trek that we did along the Great Wall of China. Like, that was 13.2 kilometers, and I put it right up there with that. It was really hard work, and my poor knees did not like me for a couple of days afterwards. I'm still feeling it a little bit. Really, really hard work for me. But I am so glad I did this. This is a bucket list tick off for me. So I really enjoyed it. Dave loved it. And we did have like a little kid who was like 8 on there as well, and he was just having a whale at the time. Our guide was amazing. All the information, all the stories, he took care of everybody in our group. He was very, very, very good. So I would give the overall experience a 10 out of 10. I really would. And that's a harsh, being a harsh tourist, because I've been and done and things. I don't think I could give it any better recommendation. Similarly, like with the hot air ballooning experience, 10 out of 10. I felt it was better than the Great Wall of China experience because I wasn't overtaken by a very small man with a fully loaded fridge on his back. So since that didn't happen, that's the 10 out of 10 thing for me. But at the end, you get this lovely hat cap, which I don't have. I've packed that away to go down south at the week. But you get this lovely cap that says, Sydney, and along with the photos, check that out. Check it out. There's my name. See it? You see it? Oh, where's my finger? There we go. There we go. Climber certificate. And there's my name. And there's the date. Proof. All the proof. All the proof. Done it now. Tick. That's going on the wall. Back straight to the pool room. That's where it's going. Straight to the pool room. But yeah, then we went down the Rocks. The Rocks is an amazing, lovely place. I mean, I was there like 30 years ago. Yeah, of course, it's not going to change because it's a very old part of Sydney with sandstone and blah blah blah. But it's always lovely. It's always lovely. And as we were walking down, there were markets there. And so we walked through the markets, and there was a chocolaterie, and there was a guy who was selling, like, oh my God, the chocolates. We had one each, and it was just cray how good that stuff was. And funnily enough, the pancake house that we went to 30 years ago when I was there, although it's been rebranded as Pancakes on the Rocks, I was still exactly where it was, and that was great. So we went in and we had pancakes afterwards, which was wonderful and so decadent. And again, I can't say enough good things about that place. The atmosphere was great. The food was extraordinary. The waitresses were just totally on point. Like, you sat down, they were there with the menus, they were there with drinks, they were, you put your thing down that you were obviously finished and the plates had gone. And they'd come and ask you, do you want tea or coffee or more drinks or anything else? Like, you never felt like you actually had to look for somebody and kind of madly wave at them like the Queen and kind of hope that people didn't think you looked like a total loon. And ridiculously cheap prices for Sydney, like absolutely absurdly good value for what you got. Like, we had a pancake, well, we had a dish each that we selected because it was a done lunch, dinner, something, because who doesn't want to have chocolate pancakes for dinner and lunch? Yay! With the bridge climb, 1,300 steps and 2 kilometers. I figured that I had deserved it by then. But the plate came with these 3 enormous pancakes that we both ordered chocolate, and then the stuff that was piled on top of that was a good feed. And people who had ordered savory ones and things like that, savory crepes and whatever, they got just as much, but the savory one, and I kind of had a little bit of pancake envy, but I didn't think I could fit 2 in. It's just next time I'll be better prepared, but this time, just amazing. So then we walked around, down through Circular Quay, around to the Opera House, because who doesn't love the Opera House? Saw the most extraordinary blue fairy there. She must have been about 6'4", with 4-inch stiletto sequined heels on, and a blue wood nymph dress, blue wings, blue makeup, and a wig. She was the most gorgeous thing I'd ever seen. And at the same time, it was just so hilarious because nobody was even giving her a second look. It was, you had to really try hard not to stare, and I really wanted a photo and said, "You were just magnificent. Please, can I have a photo?" But I thought that would have kind of been a bit rude. So we just admired her from afar. So we walked around, there were weddings everywhere, which was lovely because the rain had completely quit by then. And then we walked all the way around to where you split off, and you either go back up into the botanical gardens or you keep walking around on the track to Mrs. Macquarie's chair. So we headed back through the botanical gardens, which were just lovely. A little bit soggy, but lovely, as long as you stayed on the track. And went up through the city and went home via Little Tokyo again, where we went into the Asian grocery to get some takeout for dinner, because we were both feeling that we might need something very small, but didn't need a lot. And I have to say, that was the most extraordinary experience of the trip, because you walked off the street of Sydney and you walked into Tokyo. There was all these Asian, well, I imagine they're Japanese of some sort, but they are all dressing like the girl with the chain thing in Kill Bill, with the high socks and the little skirt and the things with the tie and the everywhere, and they had all the little bizarre toys and things everywhere, and there's Japanese fusion restaurants everywhere. And we went into the Asian grocery, and I think it's the only place that I've ever been to where you go in to get junk food for dinner and the junk food turns out to be good for you. But that was great as well. So we went home, we walked home, and by that point we were thoroughly stuffed. Had our dinner, watched some terrible TV, and went to bed. Next morning we had a similarly big day because I wanted to go to IKEA on the way home, and we did find some very cheap fuel in St. Peter's. Can't tell you where because I can't remember, but I know it was in St. Peter's because we just come out of IKEA. And to top off our trip, we actually went. So, country singer from way back in the day, Slim Dusty. Slim Dusty wrote a song about the town and country, which turns out it's a pub. And, it's the one that says, I love to have a beer with Duncan. I love to have a beer with Dunk. We drink in moderation, blah, 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 blah. So it's that one. Well, it's actually a pub, and it actually still is a pub. So we went there, and again, it was rather underwhelming, very underwhelming, very run down in a really dicey part of town. And I was scared that the car would get stolen as we walked across the street to take a photo. I was rather concerned about that. But we visited the town and country. Now, again, something else that has been ticked off the bucket list. And then we made our way home to Wagga. So, that was our trip to Sydney. Wonderful, wonderful experience. I mean, I lived in Sydney for a fair while, so the best place for me to see Sydney is in the rear vision mirror, because I do turn into a bit of a lunatic when I get in there and start driving. But I hope that this gives you a good uh, tidbit of things to do, because where we were staying, you're like a 5 minute walk from Darling Harbour, you're a 5 minute walk from the aquarium, and all those amazing things. So, if you can get past the receptionist being a bit revolting and a bit of dicey cleaning, it is a really good place to stay. But watch the fact that they try to charge you deposits that aren't mentioned anywhere in the booking. That is a bit dicey. But other than that, it's a great place to stay. And anyway, I won't be doing a video next week because we're away. We're away down south for the week. But I will see you again the week after. And to let you know about our adventures, have a great Easter, have great school holidays, and we will talk soon.